Why play Kog'Maw mid? Well, he brings very high damage, he has insanely long range, his wave clear is pretty strong, and similar to the bot lane, he is a late game beast. However, he is weaker in the early game, and he does lack any mobility at all. Kog'Maw's passive is when he dies, he becomes a zombie for 4 seconds, gaining bonus movement speed. At the end of this time, he explodes, dealing true damage in an area around him. Kog'Maw's Q has a passive where he gains bonus attack speed. The active is a straight line skill shot, which deals damage to the first enemy hit, reducing their armor and magic resist. Kog'Maw's W empowers his basic attacks for the next 8 seconds, where he gains bonus attack range and they deal bonus magic damage on hit. And this bonus magic damage scales with the target's maximum health, allowing him to absolutely shred through tanks. Kog'Maw's E is a straight line skill shot, which deals damage to targets hit. It then leaves an area on the floor for 3 seconds, which slows all enemies within. Kog'Maw's ultimate places down a circle on the floor, granting sight of the area. Then, after a short delay, enemies within take damage and are revealed. The damage of this ability is increased based on the target's missing health, dealing double damage if they're below 40%. However, each cast of this ability within 8 seconds has an increased mana cost of 40, so if you spam it, you will go quickly. For combo, start E into Q, then Alt and W. From here, attack away, ulting again whenever it's available. For matchups, Kog'Maw is great into lower mobility champions who can't punish him too hard early. However, he can struggle into champions who can easily get onto him and want to assassinate him early. For runes, take this. Comet is great extra damage, and your E slow pretty much guarantees it. For build order, start Ring and Pot into Ludens and Tier 2 boots. From here, a Shadow Flame and Hat are great pickups before finishing a build with any of these as needed. For skill order, start E then Q then W before maxing E then Q then W, taking Alt whenever you can. For summoner spells, take Flash and Teleport. However, Barrier works very well into Assassins, as do things like Exhaust. Starting the game, it's all about farming hard to scale. Your E is a very good tool to poke your opponent while also pushing the lane. However, before your first couple of backs, you are mana hungry. When trading, it's all about landing Q. If you land it, it's great damage in itself, and you've also shredded their resistances. This means all extra damage you do hits hard. So, whether you land this or not will tell you whether you should fight. And if you miss it, do just try to back off. When you hit level 6, you start coming online. Landing E almost guarantees your ultimate following up, which is great damage. You can now just make your opponent's life incredibly uncomfortable by spamming R after R. Entering the mid game, your wave clear is pretty solid and you're great at sieging, so holding mid is definitely a very strong option for you. However, if you do find yourself in a side lane, you want to slow push it out. This will allow you to funnel as much gold and experience into you as possible, before grouping back with your team for fights and objectives. Entering late game team fights, you now deal ridiculous damage from very far away. Before the fight even starts, just poke and poke away. From here, play as a backline mage just trying to assassinate by sniping out the enemy backline. Landing E into a couple of ults more or less deletes anything. And that's how to play Kog'Maw mid. If this video helped you, leave a like and comment below who you want to see next.